be on video, show what they're made of. We are going to keep this professional, and we are going to keep this about the community and how we're going to get our community back. So with that, I would like to introduce Victor, and Victor has been helping us organize this, so thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Good afternoon, everybody. First, I'd like to say that a lot of y'all know I'm a lawyer. I'm not here as a lawyer or a lawyer for anybody here. I'm here as a resident and owner, just like everybody else here is here. Now, I've done a lot of research and a lot of legal research on what has happened here. And I've done other legal research as to other things that have progressed. I myself have retained 2 attorneys because there's 2 pending actions against individuals in this community of things that's been done. And I highly recommend that anybody who's had issues in here may want to get their own attorney. And I know we now have a grassroots group where there are several residents getting together, actually hiring counsel. Why? Why is because our board of directors, I'm not naming any names, but our board of directors and committee members have a fiduciary duty to us as unit owners. This is an association of all of us together, not just one individual, not a board going out and doing whatever the board wants to do, and especially not doing their due diligence or using good business judgment and not getting permits, not asking our legal counsel that we pay for to do certain things. So this isn't the first thing, this is the tip of the iceberg. And what we want to do today is to everybody to talk about the things that they've seen. And it isn't a matter if you like what you see or you don't like what you see. There's some things that we all would agree may be a good idea for this community. But the idea is under our declarations, we're all supposed to participate as a democracy and make a determination under the declarations of the percentage of the unit owners that can actually vote and say, yes, this is what we want to do. So we can all decide what we want to do, not just a handful of board members or their cronies, if you will. So with that, I'd like for all of us to be able to just express the concerns that we have. And like Cindy mentioned, we've already done some legal research on how we can do resolutions as to board members, resolutions as to how we can get things on agenda before the board, since they don't listen to us when we try to speak up during board meetings. So we're going to try to control all that and get back to normalcy. That's our game plan. And with that, we're going to go.
Well, I'm new, so this was kind of a surprise when I came in this weekend and saw the whole front yard dug up, and that's a pretty sizable view for me. And I took the initiative to corner Alex and I'm still learning names here, Wayne and a couple of other people, and ask if there was a master plan. Perhaps I had missed the master plan and needed the documents because I had no idea we were going to be digging up the whole front yard. And I talked to them for a couple hours last night. I know they're going to be talking, but the whole bottom line to me is the board should not have the right, and I was told that the board does have the right to do anything they want to, and they can make decisions on our behalf. And I find if that is the case, I completely disagree with that position. And if that's the mindset of people associated with the board, I think it should be stopped. And I bought this place, perhaps like some of you, because I love old Florida, and I love the natural wildlife, and I like all the vegetation that was there, and I like the sand dunes, and I don't want it disrupted. And the impression I got is that no one's afraid of getting a fine for digging this up, and they'll just go ahead and build something here anyway, specifically a horseshoe court, a fire pit where they've dug it out in like a U, and then put a volleyball court there as well. And I just don't see how that can happen without people buying into this process. And I for one would not have voted for that, and I am all for putting it back where it belongs. So that's in a nutshell.
Okay. Forgive me for not standing up. I've got a little bit of a heart issue. My name is John. Most of you have never seen me. I do own an apartment at South 102. It's currently full of all my junk. I live on the house next to the house that's for sale. I'm the guy that's always out there sprinkling and trying to get the sea oats to come back. And as you can imagine, when I saw what was going on, I just about had a heart attack. I'm an environmentalist. I've have a PhD from Columbia. I've taught science. And I said, what the heck is going on here? This should not be happening, okay? So I went into the office and I said, could you explain to me what's going on? I never heard about this. Oh, we notified all the owners. I said, well, I never got it. He said, well, how can we do that? It's environmentally against the law. And I said, well, we're grandfathered. I said, what? He said, well, you know, we've been here since '62 and we have permission. I said, well, that sounds like interesting news to me, but I thought it was kind of wrong. Anyway, I had somebody do a little checking for me, and they said that nobody has any business going on the grass for any reason whatsoever. Okay? Even people who are licensed to do horticultural work and stuff like that, they have to walk. They're not allowed to put mechanical equipment or motorized equipment because it drips oil and it drips all sorts of organic solvents which are deleterious to the growth on the beach. So the Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has a 60% say in anything that goes on the beach. Nobody checked with them, I don't think. Nobody pulled a coastal environmental permit, as I understand it. If I'm wrong about any of these things, I'll be happily be corrected. I was told that this is all governed under Florida statute 161.242, which prohibits exactly this kind of behavior. They also said at the EPA that our sea oats and plants are, quote, the first line of defense against beach erosion, which is a big deal. They said nobody can run machinery on the beach. They said this should all be reported to the EPA of Pinellas County. I don't know if it's been done. There's no record of any permit having been pulled. And I will tell you, because as I told you, I live one house north of the house that's for sale. That one pipe that runs onto the beach, I know you have about 6 or 7 of them, I don't know the exact number. The one pipe that runs from on that side, that drains the water from the parking lot and the garage, when it comes through and there's a heavy rain, it comes squirting out of there like Niagara Falls. It then accumulates and it courses and removes the sand. So then it makes a valley to the water. You may have noticed there's a kind of a valley in front of my house. Over the years, I have brought in truckloads of pure beach sand to replenish that, and it keeps getting washed away. We're in the process now of planting more sea oats, and we're going to plant more oats, which is perfectly okay. You can plant as much stuff as you want, all right? But I will tell you this, and this is an extremely important thing. When that water would be done after it ran over through that gully, the sand was black. It contained gas, oil, transmission fluid, and you saw the rainbow effect that you get when you see organic solvents on water. Okay?
Been here, my husband and I, Rick, about almost 9 years, and I just cannot believe what they did to the beach. I mean, I worked Tuesday and I worked Wednesday, got home late. When I got up Thursday morning and looked out my window and saw it, it was like, what the? And the other thing is, what's this gonna cost us? You know, for all of us. That's an added expense on top of, you know, what we pay already to fix that. I don't think we should have to pay for it. I think the people that did it should have to pay for it. That's all I have to say.
To talk about today. First of all, relative to the dunes, which is the relative, crisis for the week. It's my understanding, and I do not see a board member here, but it is my understanding.
Board was invited.
Right, but the board did not approve that. There was no official board approval for any of that work out there. It was actually the job of Jessica, who is our property manager. This was a maintenance issue. The board never approved this, and this is what I was told by the board. So Jessica, actually, in her duties and responsibilities, whenever there's a maintenance problem, Jessica finds a licensed and insured contractor. She makes sure that all the permits are in place, and then she has the building and grounds repairs done. So that's, I think, how it should have been done, and the board never approved it. So I think the board is kind of absolved from responsibility on that. I will agree with everybody. I was shocked and appalled when I saw that, and I knew there was some other alternative plan besides just cleaning out the drains, which is the DEP has to issue a permit for that anyway. So technically, we should have went forward with the DEP. They would have told us how to do the drains because they drain into the dunes, and that's the way it should have been done, but it wasn't, and that's unfortunate because now we're going to have to really pay for it. Another issue I wanted to bring up is why are we not able to reserve the community room anymore for ourselves and our families? I have never known a condo association that has a community room facility that does not allow condo owners to reserve that. And of course, there can be a system on that. We don't want the same person reserving it all the time. We're 349 people here. But there has to be a way to resolve that so that we can have, I mean, we all own that. We all own a share of everything here, and we all have a right to have it. I also want to say that if anybody has an issue that they want the board to address, under the condo association law, there is a manner and a way to do that. You have to get a petition for your item that you want the board to put on an agenda. You have to get 20% of your voters, which is 70 people here. And then of course you want to prepare your case and your presentation, etc. And the board has no option but to schedule it for an open meeting agenda. The last thing, and I'll be really quick, is I'm very dismayed that there has not been board meetings, regularly scheduled board meetings, because that's the only way we find out stuff here. Everything is miscommunication, deliberate misinformation, people telling you something that really isn't true just because they want you to believe it. And the only way you can really find out anything is to actually have a board meeting and attend or watch a board meeting.
We will address quite a few of those things that you mentioned at the end of the meeting, with the petition, and how we can go about it.
At what is happening on the beach. I don't feel that there was proper notification. I actually went down to the front desk and said, what is going on? I think it took one full day for an email to come out about the drains. I can understand the drains. I cannot understand the size of you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that they're putting hardscape out there. They are putting in either a volleyball court or a basketball court or a tennis court. And if I have to pay for that, maybe it should have been a vote for everybody. It is not a certain board member's responsibility, nor should they have the power to say, this is what we want. We have an issue with our pier that we're also $100,000 for a pier. We keep putting money, good money, after bad situations. There isn't a formal plan, and no one has done the research. I am from Illinois. I lived in the wildland, on the Fox Lake. We had to have the Army Corps of Engineers when we had a drainage issue. And we got told that we could dig a ditch, and they marked it out for us. And we had 8 of them going off of our property with some little fingers. They came every single day to make sure we weren't doing anything wrong. And now we have a football field out there and all of our greenery, along with the birds. Maybe I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I like listening to the birds. I don't hear them anymore. And so it's very sad, and it should not happen again. There are over 300 units here. We need to have a real vote, and however we need to amend things, that a board does not get to do whatever they want by the whims of some people. It should be something that is good for everybody. We have rules already that are not being followed. We have rules about there's like no playing games on the patio. Okay, well, I actually was woken up one night with the sandbag game over there. Now, okay, it was 2 nights. All right, it hasn't happened again. I don't know if enough people complained. Sometimes I feel I'm the only one going down to the front desk. I also worry about my safety and some of the people here. And I better never have to worry about my safety where I live. So I'm a policeman's daughter, and I have been told, trust no one. No one is your friend. So now I'm spouting off here in front of all of you, and I do not want to ever have to worry about my safety where I live and have invested a lot of money in a building, because I will not tolerate it. I'm tired of people's cars getting destroyed. I am tired of people being afraid to say something because someone's going to come after you. We need cameras in every one of our units. We need cameras, and we need people that are going to open up your eyes and not be afraid of reporting. I am not afraid of reporting. I think that we have a lot of issues here. Safety is the very first one. Safety, safety, safety. If we all felt safe, none of that would have happened. Okay.
Now, I thought it would be a beautiful, quiet retirement, but it was not so. From the get-go, we had problems, personal problems, harassment. We had to put a bell in order to my son that he wouldn't worry for me, you know. And what we have now, it's just beyond understanding, beyond understanding. That's our backyard, you know, natural habitat for everything, for the birds, for everything, you know, sea creatures, everything, you know. And now you look at this, it's a hazard, it's dangerous when people come with their small kids. You know, it's unconscionable, idiotic to say, to have this, to discuss it, to live with such a terrible situation. And we should really hang together and dissolve it properly, so we all feel safe and, you know, we're happy here. There's no more joy here, living here. That's all what I have to say.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't know everybody's name. Are you an owner?
Yes, I'm an owner.
Would you like to
No, not at the moment.
Jean Dewsbury, 504 South, and I feel
I saw what he was doing was all gratis. I watched him work out here. And I really don't want him to get in any trouble because I don't know too many people that spend the time and effort he did. Now, I don't know where the mix-up was. I have no idea. I do know I am president of the board back home, and believe me, there's a lot of things that you do that you don't need 100% okay. You people elect the board members, and sometimes they make minor, not major, but minor adjustments without bringing everyone in. I do have no idea if that's legal or not. I've been told the board members knew about it, the board members okayed it. Now I hear they didn't okay it. I have no idea on that at all. I'm here to listen, but I do think that that gentleman worked his butt off for nothing. And I don't think he should get in any trouble at all, as far as I'm personally concerned. That's it.
Drain is now complete. It appears to be all the drain from the buildings are functional. This was yesterday we got a letter. This thing had happened, what, 3 days before this? And it wasn't stopped? And there's people on here from the board watching this. Nothing was done. It was a disaster before the 11th. We have a board here. I feel there is no communication between the president, the vice president, the committees. Everybody does their own thing. Besides that, half the board, not half the board, a lot of the board is not here. Half the they're gone. So where are they here now? They're all gone. They're hiding. Not all. Some. Anyway, you have Jack Fleming, the president. Then you have John Mittendorf, director. Now we have board liaisons. We have John Mittendorf. He's a building and advisory. He's head of that. And also on the board chairs, Alex Valenci. He's also on the building and advisory board. What's going right here, it affects them. They make the decision. But why wasn't this done in the beginning? Did they know about it, or is it an add-on? Oh, we got them here. Let's go whole 9 yards. So my complaint is, I think we should look at the board and what is their charter? What are they expected to do, and who's expected to do it? And there's a communication. Nobody's talking to anybody. They do their own thing, whatever they want to do, and it's done. So that's my complaint. And where's the president? He's got to be known by this. And Mittendorf.
Yeah,
The building advisory.
Yeah.
Where are these guys? You know where they are. They're not here. So, anyway, that's my point. My name.
Jean Dewsbury, 504 South. And I agree with everything that has been said so far. And it is appalling what's happened out there. And our beauty is gone, our natural beauty. And it seems to me that this has been done by a couple of people's decision. And like Heidi says, this is our backyard. This is not two people's backyard. It's 356 units backyard. And we need to have more involvement and more information.
Wayne Missler. I'm an original owner. I lived here 5 or 6 years before we became a condo association. I think of myself as like an unofficial historian for the last 25 years. There's almost virtually no one from original owners who have stayed continuously active. The Dewsburys have. I headed the building and grounds committee from 2004 when we became an association to 2010. We were destitute. We had no money, so only minor things got done. I did have the EPA out here, maybe when I was still a tenant. Those drains that are down 3 or 4 feet are supposed to be open. They're supposed to flow out. I don't condone what was done here. I didn't know what was going to be done here. But just so you know this much, I expected that they would make 1 or 2 front loader passes to get down to the bottom of those drains.
For the word trenches. 1 or 2 trenches.
1 or 2 passes. I didn't know about the rest. I don't know about tennis courts and basketball courts. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know why this lady thinks she's unsafe. Unsafe about what?
Right here. How many feel unsafe?
Unsafe about falling into a hole?
Intimidation. Intimidation.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about that either. I've been here all these years,
Then you ain't into
and
the
only
wrong
know
company.
1 or 2 times people have had confrontation.
Goodness.
I don't know about those confrontations. A new owner is already having intimidation. I don't understand that. Anyway, the announcement of the pier work was made public in the last board meeting with the quote for the price. And to me, it sounds like a bargain. There could be some overrun. It sounds so good. This soil that's been removed was not seals. It was not a dune. It was that low, ugly green stuff you see that some people say they love.
Our natural environment.
It's not natural, it's invasive.
No, it's natural.
Along the seawall, you may have seen some
Supports the
pretty
sand.
little palms, nice looking things. They're growing in.
Who called the police today?
No, I just want to say something.
Why?
I asked the police to come today, Alex.
Why?
Because you intimidate people, and a lot of people here are intimidated by you. You go out and you attack them, this new person. You told her, I will make your life miserable. Deny it. Just deny it. You have done
I am denying.
every single one of them. You have approached me in the elevator.
You're lying.
You tried to bully me.
You're
So
lying.
just, Stevie, one moment, please. Everybody just stay in order here. You want any answer why the police are here today? I called the police. And I
Thank
was
you,
going to
Cindy.
take
Thank you
the
for
police
protecting
out
all
right
of the
now.
owners. Really appreciate it.
They do appreciate it.
Right. The other day, your husband attacked my wife. He was following her. Answering your question. I'm not pressing charges. I'm not pressing charges.
What about your
Daughter. How about your daughter, Alex?
Okay,
One
Stevie,
question.
Steve,
Your daughter.
And your son.
Steve.
One question.
Jessica, and confirmed by Jessica. No one touched the dune until the Florida Environmental Protection investigates everything that's taken place, a permit has to now be pulled. Statute says we can be fined up to $15,000. It is a misdemeanor, by the way, to do this. And up to $15,000. And then the Florida Environmental Protection Agency tells us what we have to do to remedy all of this, i.e. putting COs back, putting the sea grades back on. So it's not up to us right now. It's out of our hands.
What you're really saying is the plan will evolve itself.
No,
The plan will be defined by the EPA,
Yes.
et cetera,
Yeah.
and it will pretty much take care of itself. We'll be told what to do.
That's our
Is there anything wrong with that? That sets a
Money.
plan in motion to make a fix.
Money, we pay for it.
We pay for it.
We pay for it, absolutely.
Why should
And
we pay
the
for it?
environment pays for it.
Yeah, why should we pay for it? That's a whole nother thing getting into.
All right, but anyway,
We didn't vote on it, go ahead.
In existence in this building, that management firm is beholden to them. They report to that board. That board supervises them. So keep that in mind. So
you're supervised by the board.
don't go putting this on Jessica's room. As far as records go, any records that we have here by Florida 718 must be maintained for 7 years. They can't be destroyed. So if you want to look at past records, go in there and demand to see them. Third thing I want to do is and I'm not defending or accusing anybody, but Dale did a great deal of work. He's been unappreciated here, I think,
I
today.
don't think that's the problem here.
No, I don't either. But don't put it on him, don't put it on Jessica.
And unfortunately, we're gonna get to that next, but unfortunately, he had become a pawn to some bad
Okay,
information.
look, as far as the beach goes, that's gonna be a legal matter. We're not gonna decide what happens to it. DEP isn't gonna decide what happens to it. It's gonna be a legal matter that will be resolved.
But it's gonna be a money matter.
The only problem I have with Dale is that Dale won't say who told him to do it. So how can we defend Dale and go back for him and maybe help him with an attorney if he does not come forth with that?
For people like this woman here who just meant it's a money matter, I'm sure there's no one here that's aware of the number of lawsuits that we are now defending in this association.
Yeah, they are.
None of you
We
know
are.
it.
Everybody.
Yeah, we do.
No, you don't.
We do.
How many are active right now?
I'm
How
gonna
many?
have a discussion with you.
But you don't know.
If I can fill everybody back in.
Yeah, I do know it.
I appreciate everybody coming. Victor's gonna wrap this up and we have some things to discuss and directions that we wanna go.
Just want to quick half a second, if you don't mind, folks. Anyone?
Documents are very important, and unfortunately, many people don't read them, okay? I encourage everybody here to get your condominium documents and read them. Read some each day. And there's 3 main sections you should pay attention to. One is the declarations. The declarations are things that cannot be changed by the board. It requires a 75% vote. The board cannot override them. It's illegal. Then you have the bylaws. Again, the bylaws have to do with voting and some other things. That, again, takes a membership vote, 2/3 of a quorum. A quorum is 50% of the owners plus 1. Then you have the rules and the regulations. This, the board can make changes by a majority board vote, as long as they're reasonable. And if it gets challenged based on reasonable, you can go to arbitration. But those are the 3 main parts of your documents. So if you read your documents, you have a much better understanding of what the board can do legally and what they can't do legally.
They're doing it anyway. Illegal stuff.
The beach line here, and there's a little confusion. I know some people are saying EPA, it's the DEP, okay, the Department of Environmental Protection. Regardless of who owns the beach, the DEP has jurisdiction over anything seaward of the CCCL line. And that line is about at the seawall. So my big question to Cindy is, if you voted to do the pier, you got to have a permit for that too.
We do.
Because that's seaward of the. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
So we got a permit for
No,
that,
we don't have
but
it.
not this.
They don't. They need to be told that.
Okay. The CCCL line, right at the seawall. Anything that goes seaward has to be approved by the DEP. They have jurisdiction over it, no matter who owns it. But that's all I have. Go ahead. On the board for 3 years. I was the president in 2009. Kind of ancient now and old, losing my hair. But at any rate, if you're going to do a recall of the board, it takes a written recall. You need
you need 50%. You need the majority of the voting interest if you're going to do recall. By a written recall document. That's what it takes.
Right.
Trying to call a meeting and stuff, that's never going to work.
Yeah, no, the meeting aspect is if you want to get things on the agenda meeting, you got to have.
That's 20%.
It's really hard to go that route. I'm just.
What do you suggest we do?
If you're going to do a recall, you have to have somebody that's going to do it because it's a lot of work, and you have to send out the ballot. It's a recall form, okay? And you basically put down who you want to recall and who you want to put in place, and you got to send them all to all the owners, and you got to tell them all why, and they have to vote to do it, and then you need a majority of the voting interest. So it's 50% of the owners plus one. After you get that, then you call a meeting and you get the board to.
So what is your suggestion that we can do? We are all wanting our building back. This is out of control.
Well, I'm going to give you some opinions that some people are not going to like. Okay. For one, your electronic online voting system is illegal. I'm going to say it right now. Put me on camera. It's illegal. Okay. I told them it was illegal before not to do it. They did it anyway. It's not legal. It's not secure. If you look at the statute, it doesn't comply. Okay. Because who voted online? Hey, who voted online? Just curious. You did? Who gave written consent that they wanted to vote online? Nobody. Requirement of the written online voting is you have to send in written consent. I didn't get my documents to vote. Did anybody not get their documents?
I heard some people.
Okay, I never got my second notice of election. Okay, so that's another problem. All right, so you have the written consent. You have people that didn't get their second notice of elections, and you got here's the big thing about the online thing that I checked out, which I didn't like, is that if you vote online or somebody votes for you online, it voids your paper ballot. I don't know if you knew that, but when they enter that into the system and you voted by paper, if somebody got a hold of an email address, which is all it takes to vote for you online, they could vote for you electronically and it'll void out your paper.
We need a password.
Yeah, and just,
Nope.
I know the password.
If you have the online votes, when they're entered into the system, it voids the paper.
You still enter your password.
No way. It's done on the online. If you have an online vote and a paper ballot vote, it will default to the online.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you vote online, just like when you log into a bank account, you have your password. Your bank account is secure.
No. I voted online. I clicked. My consent was click, vote. That was it.
Maybe your password.
That was it. That was it.
The browser probably saved the password. If your browser saved the password, yes.
well, on that,
You can defend it.
on that point though, and this is something I forgot to bring up earlier, just the email address that's registered with Resource Management has been hacked. They are investigating it. I've got an attorney investigating it, and Resource Management said it wasn't Resource Management, so they're trying to figure out if it has anything to do with Jessica's email. So you talk about a voting system online. Now we've got a hacked email system of getting personal emails.
So what you do is you bring your complaints about those. This is just my opinion. I mean, if you want to go the recall route.
No, I just want to figure out how to save us and like living here again.
Well, if you're gonna say the voting system was not conducted properly, I'm not gonna say there's any fraud or anything. It was not conducted properly. I'll tell you that. I can prove it. It's proven. Then you basically give that to them, and you say either you basically have to do another one. You have 60 days. If they say no, we're not going to do it, then you can basically file for arbitration. Okay, so you file with the division, the DPPR, and you say, hey, a lot of people didn't get second notice of elections. There was no written consent on the online voting, and then the online voting system is not secure, and there's questions of its security. And the way it's developed is it defaults to the online vote, and it will throw out the paper.
Is there any time constraint on a recall?
Recall,
Is it cause or without cause, right?
You can do a recall up to 60 days to the next election. For arbitration on this one, you have 60 days from the time the election was done.
Got it.
Chris, would you be willing to help us? Help me.
It's in our docs and declarations.
Well, they're statutory. They're statutory for
I'll be
this.
honest, I know there's a lot of
Yeah, and there's
warring
Florida law.
factions. I'd be happy to give you. I don't want to get in the middle of the warring factions here. I'll be honest.
It's not
I'm
a
just
war.
giving you the.
It's bare facts.
No, and
What's happening here.
we appreciate that. And then the second concern is not only the recall aspect, is why I don't know what the fine's going to be. I don't know. Hopefully it's not extraordinary. I don't know what the cost is going to be. But why should we all have to pay for this? And in my opinion, if there is a board member that's responsible for spearheading this, I think it should be that board member. It shouldn't even be our insurance. It should be the board member that pays for this. Why should we have to pay for it?
You're talking about the beach?
Yes, because this isn't going to be cheap.
That's a valid point. There is a risk of a
That's
fine.
something you'd have to talk to the lawyer about,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about that later, but, I don't find any board fingerprints on any of it. We'll talk later.
So moving forward, I just want to ask, this is going to take a lot of energy, and I need to know, because I'm not doing this by myself. I got you guys here. Victor got you guys here. We need to make sure that we're all in. Deb already has, I think it was Deb, I'm not quite sure, has 6 people that are willing to put $1,000 in. I'm asking to see if everybody would pledge $1,000 out here. We have 30 families out here. That would be 30 grand to get an attorney if we needed it to help us.
I'm in. We're in.
in.
But
And
also, even if you can't do it financially, is everybody going to be in to make a change in this board if it comes to find out that we need to get rid of this? Are we in with that?
Are we in?
Yeah.
All right.
Was that an in or that was? All right, 1 second. Can I see a show of hands who's
That's
in?
all That's all.
Okay.
It's all our property values.
Okay. Maintenance fees, if we have to have a assessment, I would rather have assessments, high maintenance fees, to get this work done properly, that somebody like Dale doesn't get hurt, or we don't hurt anybody else in the long run and then have to pay it forward and have to protect him if he cut his foot off, or Alex got on that thing, didn't know how to drive it, but woo, woo, woo. I'm telling you, I'm over it.
Just thinking, I'm happy to.
Our association, our HOA, that was mysteriously moved out of here without a 75% vote when we gave away a commercial unit.
This is nothing to do with business.
I agree with you on that one.
Yes, it is.
I
You want to
believe,
raise money? Raise money for Chris, too.
I believe the recall is a moot point. I expect the board will step down. They're volunteers and don't need this.
Exactly. So that would be.
What board members do you expect to
Do you
step
have a
down?
conversation with them that this many people are upset about it, so they'll step down?
If my video works, I just got the camera.
board
I'll let them watch it. And I expect the people that you're talking about, John Middendorf, so
John
much.
Middendorf, anybody that had anything to do with that, I would like to find a way to protect Dale. Dale's gonna be up against it. We really get this whole, DEP, his name's all over it for driving the thing and renting the car.
First, okay, before and since the lawsuit with me was mentioned, I'm just going to address that. That is what's called a derivative lawsuit, which people don't know what it is. That means that I am suing on your behalf, not the association, because money was misappropriated by some previous board to the tune of about $400,000, and so I'm suing to try and get that back. So if you hear anything to the contrary, that's what it's about. Right now, that's been going on for about 6 months. You'll hear more about that, but I'm not suing the association. I'm suing on behalf of the association.